Arnold Schoenberg was one of the most influential figures in 20th century classical music. Being a practiced composer, teacher, and writer made his thoughts and ideas spread. Schoenberg was affected by and wrote about the plight of Jewish people in Germany before and during the Second World War. He taught at the Second Viennese School of Music from 1903 to 1925, where he established atonality and serialism, techniques that influenced the entire school of 20th century classical music. Arnold Schoenberg was born on September 13, 1874 in Vienna, Austria. Though never a practicing Jew, he was born and raised in Leopoldstadt, the second district of Vienna that was primarily Jewish. Schoenberg showed promise from an early age. He began to write music at the age of 9 when he composed a duet for he and his teacher. In 1885, Schoenberg was enrolled in the KK Imperial Secondary School in Wernigerode. He composed marches and polkas during his time there. In his own words, Schoenberg considered music an expression of God, or the infinite. He thought of the act of creation as a divine one. His goal in life was to continue the legacy of German masters Mahler, Wagner, Beethoven, Mozart, and Bach, and prove the superiority of German music over French, which he considered to be far too emotional. His early work resembled the romantic style that Mahler, Wagner, and Beethoven helped create. Verklärte Nacht, meaning transfigured night, demonstrates this as a piece of romantic music that is also programmatic. It is ironic because some of the composers he idolized, Wagner for example, harbored the same anti-Semitic sentiments that forced him out of his country. An incident in 1921 at the Matzi Hotel foreshadowed his fate in Austria. He and his family were kicked out due to a no-Jew policy. Around the same time, in 1922, Pierre Lunaire was premiered. This was a piece that reflected the style of the Second Viennese School. The music was atonal but not yet 12-tone or serial. In 1933, the National Socialist Party, better known as the Nazi Party, banned Jews from holding university positions. This was a problem for Schoenberg, who was a professor of composition at the Academy of Berlin during that time. His music and his culture were also banned. Atonal music was considered to be Bolshevik by the Nazi Party, meaning anarchist, and was banned. He moved to Los Angeles and became a professor at the University of California, Los Angeles, where he taught for many years. Arnold Schoenberg is most known for creating dodecaphony, also known as chromaticism or 12-tone serialism. It was created in 1921, preceded by the general concept of atonality used by the Second Viennese School. This technique used 12 tones, each 1/2 step in the traditional diatonic scale. Each of the 12 notes were used once in the tone row. The serial nature of the music comes from the repetition of each tone row in a changed fashion. Common methods were inverting the tone row horizontally and vertically. 12-tone serialism was very influential in the 20th century. Though originally used by the composers in the Second Viennese School, other composers caught on. Composers like Charles Ives and Igor Stravinsky heavily featured serialism in their work. Arnold Schoenberg's culture and musical journey have profound effects on how music was developed in the 20th century.